A warm welcome to Business Daily right here on Trust Television. I am Yusuf Akogu. Let's take our business top stories. Glad to have you back. Now we go to the stock market to give you highlights of how the stock market went down on the first trading day this week, yesterday. The market closed positive yesterday. It's a rebound from what we had on Friday rather, 0.97%, almost 1% it ended. And in terms of volume of trade, 268.663 million, value at 3.463 billion naira in the deals of about 6,911 deals there exchange hands among investors. The market cap way high there, 36.9 trillion naira. We look at the top gaining equities for the day. Boa Cement there gained there 10%. They literally indeed from Boa Cement pushed the market back to that positive territory. 103 naira 40 kobo it ended on the day. Of course, Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC also gained 9.80% to close at 1 naira 12 kobo. Nigerian Breweries up there as well, 9.09% to close at 42 naira. Let's look at the top losers on the day. Prestige from the insurance sector lost 10% on the day to close at 45 kobo per share. FTN Cocoa 8.33% down to close at 1 naira 65 kobo. Of course, Nimet Insurance also there 7 naira 7.74% to close in the negative territory at 1 naira 55 kobo. Let's look at the top traded equities. Of course, Associate Boss Company, not very regular here, 29.3 million volume of shares traded, followed by Access Bank PLC, 29.2 million volume of shares, and of course, Oando back on the top traded equities today, 27.1 million volume of shares it traded. Let's look at how this performance across the sector went. In the banking sector, down 0.44%. If you go down to the industrial sector, of course, both by the performance of the Boa Cement, the industrial sector is up there 4.03%, the highest gainer for the day. The consumer good sector 0.78%, and the oil and gas 0.36%, apparently from the performance of the Oando. If you go down the insurance sector, also up there 1.43%. Let's look at the top most valuable companies quoted on NJS. Of course, Dangote Cement from the industrial sector with the market cap there of 5.79 trillion naira. That is a huge value there. You will say MTN in the ICT sector, 5.54 trillion naira in terms of market value. Airtel, also in the ICT subsector, 4.85 trillion there. Boa Foods in the consumer segment of the market, 3.65 trillion. If you go down to Boa Cement as well, the industrial goods side, also there, 2.89 trillion. The oil and gas sector is represented here by Seplat, 1.08 trillion naira. Of course, GT Holding in the banking sector, there are about 3 of them following each other. The GT Bank, the IBTC, and of course Zenith Bank doing 1.01 trillion, 1.01 trillion, and then 987.42 billion naira respectively. And of course, Geregu Power completed the top 10 most valuable companies quoted on AGS there, 848.75 billion naira in terms of value. These are huge. These are the market. The companies that control the activities of the market most of the time. Let's look at the rest of Africa as it's going today. The JSE in Joburg in South Africa is down 0.01%. Of course, if you go to Ghana, and next door neighbor, also same value there, 0.01%. But in Kenya, there was a rebound from what we had yesterday, 0.12%. The market closed in Ghana Kenya, I beg your pardon, on Monday. These are the highlights of the stock trading on the continent on Monday. We take a very quick break now. When we come back, we're going to look at a very important sector, the power sector. Federal government has granted licenses to about 11, or some say 17, but 11 of them are already operational distribution companies. How would this boost the power sector in the country? When we come back from this break, we'll talk to someone who should know. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. It's still Business Daily right here on Trust Television. Now we go into our discussion. The federal government last week announced that it had issued licenses to about 17 independent electricity distribution network operators. Among these 17, 11 of them are said to be operational as it is right now. And this report was actually released by NERC, Nigeria National Electricity Regulatory Commission, last week. We'll look at that today and see how this will boost the electricity distribution in Nigeria. I have my guest right here in the studio, a former acting MD and board member, AEDC, Mr. Atiku Tambawa. Glad to have you here again.
Good morning.
Yes, a lot of issues in the power sector. We say this sector is very critical. You'll be part of all the processes all along. Tell us the impact that this move will make in the industry.
Well, I think it's going to have a significant impact, particularly on the distribution aspect of the value chain. If you recall that we have 11 licensed distribution companies who have been operating across the country. And each of these distribution company has a franchise area covering a minimum of 3 states, some 4. And from the activities and their performance, one can see that they have not been doing very well, possibly considering the large area of coverage of these companies. So I think the inclusion of these new entrants will definitely bring in improvement in terms of distribution. Hitherto, the distribution companies have also been empowered through a NERC regulation to franchise. That is to allow individuals who have the interest also to participate in the distribution to do so. And some of the companies have actually utilized this personnel or entities to assist them in their distribution activities. But I think now that NERC has come up with this new entrants, they have been given proper license to actually perform like the 11 distribution companies.
All right, let's look at these distribution companies. If my director can put up the graphics there, we have the Gateway Electricity Limited, we have Energy Company of Nigeria PLC, we have the PIP LVI Disco Limited, and we have the Boditop Nigeria Limited, we have Oraga Power Distribution Company, we have Ariara Independent Energy Distribution Limited as well, we have a Ladol Integrated Logistic Free Zone Enterprises, we have a Babcock Consulting Limited, we have Constant Independent Electricity Power Distribution Company Limited, we have Alausa Distribution Company Limited, of course we have Notary Industrial City Limited. These are the 11 that are currently operational right now. Now let's look at it now. NERC said all the 11 discos have been privatized. This is the word that I'm more concerned about. We've been talking about this issue of privatization for a very long time. And they say the ownership and management of disco have been transferred to private sectors. Where was it before?
Well, you rightly said it. They have been privatized, and the co-investors are the ones who are running the companies, apart from 304, where their performance and issues with sponsors in terms of finance became an issue, and they were taken over, as you know. But apart from that, they are fully privatized, with 40% equity, of course, of federal government. That's why they have representation in the boards of this distribution company. So as far as being privately owned is concerned, we don't have any issue with that.
So with this move now, according to NERC now, are we going to have a liberal electricity sector that will operate like what we had in the telecom industry?
Yeah. Somehow it's going to be similar, but with little difference. As you know, in telecom, everything is almost wireless. So we can have somebody in Ikeja using service providers that are based in Sokoto. Okay. But in electricity sector, it's different. You just have to operate within the confinement of your location because of the wires involved. So you cannot change operator or distribution company. The only leverage this particular initiative has brought is the fact that a new distribution company will be situated in your area and probably would be much better in terms of performance with the existing distribution company.
Okay, so in essence, there's no competition. Because according to NERC, they say that this move will create more room for competition and operational efficiency.
Well, competition in the sense that the entities will be competing among themselves.
But if I'm here, if I live in Abuja and I have to make do with AEDC, I can't have access to IKDC, which is in Lagos, for example.
There is no way.
So where is the competition?
Well, that's why I say it is limited. It's not a fully competitive scenario as people will believe, because you have no choice of selecting an operator who is far away from your location. Okay. So that is a constraint there.
Okay, now let's look at the issue of metering now. With this segmentation that we are having now, if I'm in Abuja and I want to get a meter for my apartment, for example, can I go to Lagos or go to Sokoto or go to Kano to get that meter, or I'm restricted to Abuja here? For
now, there is that restriction. It's not possible because of a lot of logistics involved. This meter is normally domiciled in a particular location, and the books and the record will be kept in that location. So it will be a little bit difficult for this cross utilization of meter. You can buy your meter in Lagos and use it in Kano, for example.
Okay.
But you can be able to procure from wherever you are and get it installed at the location you need by that distribution company that has that franchise area.
Okay. Now, talking about this, still on this metering issue. Initially, the meter was meant to be free. I understand it was meant to be free, but now the Nigerians now will now have to purchase the meter by themselves, which I think is a property of the electricity companies.
Yeah, that is the whole thing. The concept is that a distribution company should meter each customer. Well, unfortunately, because of the lack of meters and some other constraints, this initiative came in through meter asset providers and other initiatives that you as a customer can buy the meter whereby you cannot wait for pre-meter. We have this national mass metering project, which is aimed at providing pre-meters to Nigerians, which has started. And the second phase, through even this World Bank procurement, is ongoing. So whereby you are able to purchase it, there is a standing NERC order, which said you should be compensated in terms of energy. And Kaduna, some other discos have already started paying back those customers through energy supply.
Oh, okay. So what that means is that if I'm buying my my units or electricity, if I'm to recharge my electricity, there's some percentages that I will have to enjoy as
exactly. A percentage of the amount you have paid.
I've paid, okay.
Will be factored, I think, over a period of 36 months. That is 3 years. Okay. So each time you bend, if, for example, you buy 10,000, you could be given 2,000 additional.
Okay.
As your
until
payment.
The money is exhausted.
Exactly.
Okay. Now let's look at now. Now we have 11 independent discos now that should go into competition, to get patronage from Nigerians. If, for example, a co-disco came up and said, okay, we're giving out our meters for free, or AEDC say we're giving meters to Abuja residents for free, do you think other distribution companies may also have to follow suit?
Of course, that is the essence, and I believe that will be a parameter for performance of the distribution company. Metering is one of the key parameters. So if you are not metering your customers adequately, you will fail in that performance indices by NERC.
Okay, now, is there no way that the sector can be restructured in a way that if I cannot get meter from Mr. A, I can easily go to Mr. B?
Well,
nothing that will force down the prices.
Yeah, that could be done. But right now, it's not in place. But I think it's a very good idea, initiatives, if it can be conceived so that you can buy it from anywhere and place it in your own company. It's just a matter of
it can be
programming. Yeah, yes. That's it.
All right. Now, let's look at how this thing will affect investors. Or how would this new move now, this initiative, attract foreign investors? Not just foreign investors, generally investors into the sector.
Yeah, I think it is one thing that will encourage investment. These 11 new entrants, for example, will be able to source for their own funding and be able to improve on their coverage such that they can perform and recover their investment. Because the whole issue is subject to the recovery of money from the sale of electricity. If you can be able to be 100% efficient, that is, you reduce your ATC and losses to zero, then of course you will make huge profit. This sector is much more profitable than telecom sector, I can assure you. But the only thing is the losses incurred. To the average of 45% loss now. So there is no business that can be sustained in that manner. But if you can be able to improve on the network, assure that there is no technical loss, you meter your customers 100%, then surely you will make profit and investment will be very...
Another issue again is that it's not even just enough to meter customers now, because you need to supply electricity for you to be able to make money. If you're paying as you use light, it means that there has to be constant electricity for you to be able to recharge regularly.
Yes, I think this is an opportunity too for the new entrants to be able to source for their own power supply that could be decentralized, particularly targeted for their own catchment areas. So if I can have 5 to 10 megawatts of solar power, particularly to that area of operation, I think that will surely help them in having 24/7 power supply.
All right. Now, let's look at the World Bank interventions now. About $250 million is expected from the World Bank into this sector. Give us an overview of the impact this kind of money will make, because recall so much money has been invested in this sector, not forgetting the $16 billion by the government of President Olusegun Obasanjo at the time into this sector. Now we're expecting $250 million from the African Development Bank, AFDB. How much of impact do you think this money will make?
Well, each intervention will actually come with a purpose. The money is supposed to be meant for a certain activity. So this $250 million, as I understand it, is meant for
the off-grid, especially. Yes.
Yes, renewable energies. And if I can recall, I remember World Bank has also come in with such initiatives earlier of 350 million or 500 million, but that one cut across the power sector. But certain amount was also earmarked for the grid, for renewable energy, that many grids. And it looks like we are duplicating the same thing. Have we seen the impact of the other loan from World Bank? I think there is need for proper monitoring and evaluation on the part of the government and the World Bank or funding agency. We need to know the stage we are. Have we achieved the purpose for which we have taken this loan before we venture into another loan of such manner? I'm not saying that we should not take it, but I think we should do proper evaluation to ascertain how far we have gone, how far we can build on what we have done to avoid duplication of what is supposed to have been done with the previous loans.
All right, let's look at the Nigeria wheeling capacity. Some say it's around 5,000. The TCN data says about 4,100 megawatts at what we will as currently now. So with the new entrant now into the power sector, how much of this do you think we can, how much of this distribution capacity do you think this new entrant can actually bring?
Yeah, I think the purpose, among other things, is to really expand the distribution capacity. As you rightly said, what you are quoting maybe is the transmission capacity. The distribution capacity should always be much, much higher than transmission
capacity. Absolutely.
So I think with this development, they should be able to expand, to bring in more lines, more injection substation, more distribution substations, to be able to improve their own wheeling capacity at distribution end.
All right, talking about wheeling capacity and distribution end, let's look at the politics in the power sector. A lot of people have actually blamed our current position, a country of over 200 million people, not being able to consistently, distribute, a larger, it's a reasonable capacity to the citizen. A country like South Africa has a huge number, over 40,000 megawatts, but here we are struggling with 5,000, 6,000 megawatts.
Yeah, I think we have been discussing this quite a lot, but my understanding is that we need to be holistic in nature. We should not just concentrate on one aspect, let's say generation, and forget transmission or distribution. So with a lot of initiatives, like presidential power initiatives, they have come up with plans and strategies of increasing all the three aspects. And I believe by the time it is completed, even though we know we had a lot of delays, but if all the constraints and other things are done with, we should be able to have 25,000 megawatts, both in terms of generation and distribution.
And this is 5,000 megawatts. We've been talking about it for a very, very long time. When are we going to get there?
Well, we'll get there somehow, someday. I believe what we need is focus, we need the political will, and we need the input of all stakeholders to be able to reach. It's not just the government alone. We have different players who should participate and make sure that they do their own part to be able to reach there. I believe we'll get there one day.
All right, I believe we'll get there one day, and I hope that the new government will not set up its own presidential committee on power as well. Thank you so much, Atiku Tambuwal, former acting MD, TC, and of course, board member, AEDC. I must thank you for your time on Business Daily today.
Yeah,
I appreciate your time. And with that is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogun.